Smash Up! This is a game that I like very much. I have a lot of expansions. I'm always happy to play it. I recently realized that in my group, the reception is a little more mixed. Some people just can't handle the randomness. Some people like it mainly because of the humorous combinations, and they dare compare Smash Up to Munchkin. I totally disagree with the comparison. Frankly, I think it's interesting also, well, the humor is great, but also because of gameplay. I think there are really some interesting decisions that you can make as you're trying to exploit your deck and come up with crazy combos, and you're trying to prevent the opponent, read the opponent, etc, etc, etc. Now, in this expansion here, we have 4 new groups. They're inspired by international types or stereotypes. We have the Canadian Mounted Warriors, we have the Sumo Wrestlers, the Musketeers, and the Luchadores. And this is what you get. This box is a beautiful box, but like for other boxes, I don't know that I'll keep it. I have the huge, gigantic Smash-Up box, and so I'll just melt these components into that one. So as you can expect from an expansion for Smash Up, the first thing that we have is bases. I don't know if it's the first one, but it's important. So the bases are locations that you can imagine based on what you just saw. And then, well, you can pause if you want, so you can read the instructions for any and all of them, look at the different values. I'm not going to explain how Smash Up works. I assume that you know it. But a lot of these have to do with moving things around, with moving your minions away or to different locations. For example, here, before the base scores, each player may move one of their minions from here to another base and give it +1 until the end of the turn. If you can chain that with other things, that would be great. I wonder why in the Great Wine North, the second is more valuable than the first. Maybe because the Canadian Mounted Guards are so nice that they want to let you go first, and they get rewarded with bigger points for being second. Not so much in the ringside. So we have some, and this is just too adorable for words. So we have some really interesting and, again, fun locations. As for the factions themselves, we have the Luchadors. The Luchadors, they have, what distinguishes them in a sense is they have a lot of abilities that have to do with setup, meaning there are cards that will allow you to place a setup on the opponent's setup effects, and basically that triggers particularly powerful effects. So there are cards that are okay per se, but if you take the time and the resources to link a setup game effect to a victim, then that will be a lot more powerful. And some are about destroying the enemy, some are about blocking them, and so annulling their powers. It's a very fun faction. Then we have the Musketeers that are all about getting together and working together, which makes sense, right? We know them from a novel that's called The Three Musketeers, and then we figure out it's 4. There's always more. There's always a Musketeer coming out of the woodwork when you least expect it. And so they will do a lot of that. They support each other, they trigger extra actions, they can be powerful, and I'll say there's the one faction that can be a little annoying because they start coming out of nowhere, they give each other extra actions, extra abilities. They're powerful, maybe a little too powerful, I don't know. Pay an extra action because they just love that. They love to keep themselves busy. And again, as before, I will not read the text of each card because boring, but you can just pause and look. Play an extra minion. Oh gosh, just stop it already. They're a good faction. Again, very powerful. The Mounties, they're the ones with the most fun art, because when you see mooses with machine guns, sort of like almost like Gatling guns, it gets serious. They also are pretty good at working together, but they don't pile up as easily as the Musketeers. So they move each other around, and so again, this is when to me Smash Up has actual meaningful decisions, because I'm playing a strategy and I'm chaining up different effects. So that I send this one to a base with another player's minion to give it +1 until the end of the turn. So I'm timing it at the time when that actually matters. If there's another player's minions here, the minion has +1 power, etc., etc. Choose one of your other minions, move it to another base, or give it +1 power until the end of the turn. So these interactions that they have are pretty similar to the Musketeers, but I find them a little more complex, a little more difficult to pull them off. The Musketeers are more intuitive. These require more strategy and thinking, and that works because I like the challenge. Move a boot already. Oh, this one is always get our man, because they're tough law enforcers. You can't fool the Mounties. And hey, it's just the best card ever, possibly in all of Smash Up, because I love routine. I'm a little partial there. Sumo wrestlers. Sumo wrestlers are a fan faction in its own, and looking at some of the art, there is one that made me think, oh, this is familiar. Now I wish there was an expansion about classic video games. Maybe factions could be plumbers, and maybe Street Warriors 22, and I think you know what I mean. And maybe, I don't know, racing rodents, running rodents. How could be a third for a Big Pixels expansion? I don't know. These guys also work together, but there's more like a sport movie. You need to spend resources to train them. You see them from these like little rookie sumos, but then you may discard a card to place a +1 counter on one of your minions, and they do like that. They help each other, but this time not in terms of moving each other around, rather of generating +1 powers or increasing the power. You may move another player's minion with power 3 or less from here to another base to draw a card. Third tier, technique price. Again, I was telling about the powers. This is a super powerful one. Rocky Sumo. This is, on top of being pretty funny illustration, very useful when you want to clear a base, because you move all of their minions there to another base. So this is, this is the most powerful. This is the big boss. This is the big boss of the deck. And if you fight against the Luchadores, they'll probably trap him in some sort of lock, so he can't move, he cannot use his special abilities. The Musketeers will power drop on him in big swarms trying to stop him, but he's definitely gonna attract a lot of attention. Your minions cannot be moved by other players' cards, and right there, that's powerful. Talon, draw a card, or move another player's minion from here to another base. He just picks them up and throws them wherever. And then, since many of their abilities are triggered by discarding cards, it's good that you also have actions that allow you to draw extra cards, so that then you can discard them and generate again more power counters. I almost feel like it's not just Sumo, but the gourmands. It's about consuming resources, and then you turn into muscle and mass. And so these are the Sumo fighters. So these are the 4 factions that we find here. Gameplay-wise, they're fun. They're all fun. Frankly, my favorite are probably the Luchadores and the Sumo and the Mounties. Again, or I might say, they're all good, but maybe the Musketeer I like a little less, just because they can create those chains that can be a little bit annoying. I'm like, go and do your thing, do 2-3 actions, but if you start chaining too much, not so great. But they're still fun. Again, maybe a little overpowered, I don't know. In any case, World Tour International Incident Smash Up is another fun expansion for this game. More stuff that you can mix and match in completely demented combinations, from zombie sumo wrestlers to carnivorous plant musketeers, Mounties and ghosts, or mad scientists. You name it, or you do it. You combine it. You shuffle them together. Smash Up is a fun game, and this expansion is another fun expansion for the game.